The story of Rome often starts with a legend. This tale speaks of twin brothers Romulus and Remus. They were sons of Mars, the god of war, and a Vestal virgin. Their birth was scandalous, and they were seen as a threat by King Amulius. He ordered them to be drowned in the Tiber River. But a servant placed them in a basket instead. The basket floated down the river and came ashore near a fig tree. A she-wolf found the crying babies and suckled them. A shepherd named Faustulus and his wife Acca Laurentia then raised them. Romulus and Remus grew up to be strong young men and natural leaders. They discovered their true identities and helped restore their grandfather to the throne. They decided to found their own city near where the she-wolf had found them, but they argued about which hill to build upon. Romulus favored the Palatine Hill, while Remus preferred the Aventine Hill. This argument led to tragedy. Romulus killed Remus and became the sole founder of Rome. It was a dark start for a city destined for greatness. Rome was not always a republic. For its first few centuries it was ruled by kings. Romulus was, according to legend, its first king. After him 6 more kings followed, some Sabine, others Etruscan. Early Rome was a mix of cultures, a small city-state learning from its neighbors. These early kings held great power as commanders, priests and judges. The people had little say in governance. An advisory council of elders called the Senate existed, but the king made the big decisions. This system lasted for over 200 years, laying foundations for the city. However, the last king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, was unpopular. Known as Tarquin the Proud, he ruled harshly and ignored the Senate. His son, Sextus Tarquinius, committed a terrible crime against Lucretia, a noblewoman. This event sparked a revolution. Led by Lucius Junius Brutus, the Roman people drove out Tarquin and his family. This happened around 509 BC. The Romans vowed never again to be ruled by a single king. This was the beginning of the Roman Republic. The Roman Republic was a bold experiment. Instead of a king, they elected 2 consuls to rule together for 1 year. Each consul could veto the actions of the other, ensuring checks and balances. The Senate, made up of wealthy patricians, advised the consuls and controlled finances and foreign policy. Becoming a senator was a great honor. But Rome was not just made up of patricians. The majority of citizens were plebeians, farmers, artisans, merchants. Initially, plebeians had few political rights. This led to the conflict of the orders, a long struggle for equality. Over time, plebeians gained more power, including their own officials, the tribunes. Tribunes could protect plebeians from unfair treatment and veto Senate actions. Plebeians also gained their own assembly, which could pass laws for everyone. Eventually, the laws were written down in the 12 tables. This was a big step towards a more just society. For centuries, the Roman Republic fought many wars in Italy. Rome was persistent and learned from its mistakes. The Roman army became skilled and disciplined, slowly conquering the Italian peninsula. By 264 BC, Rome controlled most of Italy. This expansion brought benefits and problems. More land meant more resources and citizens. Conquered peoples were often incorporated into the Roman system. Some granted citizenship. However, constant warfare was expensive and cost many lives. Managing a larger territory was difficult. The old city-state government needed to adapt. Rome then clashed with Carthage, leading to the Punic Wars. These wars lasted over 100 years and were incredibly brutal. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, famously invaded Italy. He crossed the Alps with elephants and defeated Roman armies many times. But Rome refused to give up and eventually defeated Carthage. Rome became the dominant power in the Western Mediterranean. It then turned its attention eastward, conquering Greece and parts of Asia Minor. Vast wealth poured into Rome, but this success came at a high price. The gap between the rich and poor grew wider. Small farmers lost their land to large estates, and slavery became widespread. The Republic was changing, and not always for the better. As the Republic grew, so did the ambitions of its leading men. Generals commanded large armies loyal to them, not just to the state. One such man was Gaius Julius Caesar. Born into a patrician family, Caesar was clever, charismatic, and ambitious. He formed a political alliance with Pompey and Crassus, known as the First Triumvirate. Together, they dominated Roman politics. Caesar used this alliance to become consul and then governor of Gaul. For nearly 10 years, Caesar campaigned in Gaul, conquering vast territories. His commentaries on the Gallic War made him famous in Rome. His soldiers adored him, but his successes made his rivals in the Senate nervous. The alliance of the triumvirate broke down, and Pompey became his rival. The Senate, influenced by Pompey, ordered Caesar to disband his army. Caesar faced a difficult choice: obey the Senate or risk civil war. His decision would change Rome forever. Julius Caesar made a fateful decision. In 49 BC, he led his legion across the Rubicon River, starting a new civil war. The Republic was now tearing itself apart. Pompey and many senators fled Rome to gather their forces. Caesar quickly took control of Italy and pursued Pompey. They met in battle at Pharsalus in Greece, where Caesar's legions defeated Pompey's larger army. Pompey escaped, but was later murdered in Egypt. Caesar was now the most powerful man in the Roman world. He spent the next few years mopping up resistance in Egypt, Africa, and Spain. In Egypt, he became involved with Queen Cleopatra. He returned to Rome as a hero and was granted unprecedented powers. He was made dictator for life and started many reforms. However, many senators feared he wanted to become a king. A group of senators, led by Brutus and Cassius, plotted against him. On the Ides of March 44 BC, they assassinated Caesar, hoping to restore the Republic, but it only led to more chaos and another civil war. Caesar's death did not save the Republic. Instead, it plunged Rome into another round of bloody conflict. Caesar's supporters wanted revenge. His adopted son and heir, Octavian, allied with Mark Antony and Lepidus to form the Second Triumvirate. They hunted down Caesar's assassins and defeated them at the Battle of Philippi. The triumvirs then divided the Roman world among themselves. Octavian took the west, Antony the east, and Lepidus was given Africa. For a while, Octavian and Antony cooperated, but their rivalry grew. Antony became involved with Cleopatra, giving Octavian a powerful propaganda tool. Octavian portrayed Antony as a slave to a foreign queen. The final showdown came at the naval battle of Actium in 31 BC. Octavian's fleet, commanded by Marcus Agrippa, defeated Antony and Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra fled to Egypt, where they later committed suicide. Octavian was now the sole master of the Roman world. The last civil war of the Republic was over. Octavian was careful not to call himself king or dictator. In 27 BC, he was given the title Augustus by the Senate, meaning revered one. He was also called Princeps, meaning first citizen. In theory, the Senate and magistrates still functioned, but Augustus held all the real power. This marked the beginning of the Roman Empire. The Republic was truly gone. Augustus's reign brought a long period of peace and stability known as the Pax Romana. After decades of civil war, people welcomed it. Augustus reformed the army, finances, and government of the provinces. He launched a huge building program in Rome, transforming it from a city of brick to a city of marble. This was a time of great cultural flourishing. Poets like Virgil, Horace, and Ovid wrote their masterpieces. Roman literature, architecture, and engineering reached new heights. Romans were masters of concrete, building aqueducts, roads, bridges, and public buildings. The Roman military remained a powerful force, securing frontiers and spreading Roman culture. Life in the empire was diverse, with cities as centers of trade, culture, and entertainment. People enjoyed chariot races and gladiator games in large amphitheaters. Public baths were important social centers. In the countryside, agriculture was the main activity, with large estates producing food for the cities. Roman law developed further, influencing legal systems for centuries. The empire connected a vast area from Britain to Egypt under one rule. The Roman Empire eventually declined and fell in the West in 476 AD, but its influence did not disappear. Rome left a deep and lasting mark on the world. Many aspects of our modern lives have Roman roots. Languages like French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian all come from Latin. English also has thousands of words derived from Latin. Roman ideas about law and government are very important. Concepts like citizenship, the rule of law, and republicanism were developed by the Romans. Roman engineering and architecture continue to inspire. Their roads, aqueducts, and buildings were so well built that some still stand today. The use of arches, domes, and concrete were Roman innovations. Even our calendar, the Gregorian calendar, is a modification of Caesar's Julian calendar. Christianity also grew within the Roman Empire and became the state religion. The Roman Empire helped spread Christianity throughout Europe. In language, law, government, architecture, and religion, Rome's legacy is all around us. The story of its rise from a small village to a vast empire continues to fascinate and teach us.